welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another in my Stretch That collection series. If you haven't watched the previous ones, a quick synopsis is that I bought from the Pink Paisley Paige Evans Oh My Heart collection. I bought the 6x6 pad, the ephemera pack, the sticker book and the puffy stickers. My goal in this series is to show just how much mileage you can get from a small amount of a collection. So if you're on a really tight budget, you can still buy from a collection even if you can't buy a lot of it. And I know I had a scrappy friend confess that she wasn't going to buy anything from the collections just purely because she couldn't afford much of it and she didn't think it'd be worth her while. So I'm just aiming to show that you can. So one of the easiest ways to cover a large amount of space on a layout is obviously to use multiple photos. When you're doing a one photo layout, you have to be slightly more inventive on how to use your 6x6 papers to stretch them behind the photos. But if you're going for a multi-photo layout, it makes it just slightly easier. However, having said that, in this episode? Is it an episode? I suppose it is. In this one, I'm actually just going to use scraps and branding strips, all from the 6x6 pad. I didn't buy any 12x12 papers at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm inspired by a paper in the 6x6 pad, which is a lot of patterns in a diagonal. I can't remember which number the paper actually is, but yeah, it's a lot of the patterns just in a diagonal. So I'm using branding strips and offcuts and just scraps from the 6x6 pad, and I'm just going to layer them around the edges of a 12x12. I'm not covering the whole thing because this is going to be almost like a backing paper, as if I've backed it onto a 12x12, and I'm not going to make you suffer through me sticking a whole 12x12 piece of paper, layering the whole thing up. So I'm just gonna click to it because that's the magic of editing. So that's how it looks once I've stuck them all down. So I'm going to take another 12x12 piece of cardstock and I'm going to cut about 2 centimeters off each, sorry, so about 1 centimeter off each side, and then I'm going to go ahead and stick it to this backing paper that I've made, and once I've stuck it down you won't be able to tell that it's just scraps. And it's a really fun way of using up all those branding strips and all those scraps that you didn't think you had a use for. It takes a little time, but you know. So I guess it looks really fun and I really like the effect of it. So I'm just cutting off the excess now just to make sure that when I stick my white cardstock down that I have it in the right place. And I'm going to go ahead and stick it down, and then off camera I'm going to go and stitch around the edges as well. You don't have to, I just like the texture that it gives. And I'm showing it to my camera. Oh, there we go. My camera hates to focus in on things. It likes to take its sweet time to focus in on things. So I'm just making sure that I've cut it all to the correct width, and I have now. And see, you can't tell that that's been pieced together at all. I think that looks really pretty. I think I'm going to use that more as a technique because it looks really lovely. And as I said, it was inspired by one of the pages in the actual collection. So I'm just yeah, I'm just going to faff around with the ephemera as ever. That is what I like to do. I like to faff. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm so glad to have you here, but you're gonna have to get used to me faffing around with ephemera because I do. I like to move them around, I like to play around with them. And I know I want 3 areas of ephemera. I don't mind if it's more than 3, but I definitely want 3. So I'm just playing around and trying to make sure everything's going to fit, and I think I'm actually going to move the photos around. Because I originally thought I was going to have them in this layout, I guess. In this, oh, there's a word and it's on the tip of my tongue and I cannot remember it. Don't you just hate that? Yeah, I thought I was going to have them originally the way I had them set out, but I decided to change that up and have the bigger photo be in the bottom left. no, bottom right, so that I can have, oh gosh, I've forgotten I'd done this. I went to answer the door went, and I came back and I started going ahead and adding my packaging technique with Tim Holtz Distress Spray in Picked Raspberry. And then my phone rang, so I went to turn off the recording and turned it on and realised that I'd done the whole of the packaging technique and not actually turned my camera on. So I apologise for that, but yes, it was just using the packaging technique to smoosh around some Tim Holtz Distress Spray in Picked Raspberry. I presume you all know what the packaging technique is. If you don't, leave me a comment down below and I will show you in my next video. So yeah, I've gone all of a fluster. I have packed my photos onto some white cardstock and I'm going to keep it relatively simple. I'm not going to back them onto any more patterned paper. I'm going to let the pattern paper that I've already put together be its own thing for this layout. And the photos are quite bright. Yeah, I don't necessarily love the photos because of how green the background is, but I'm okay with that. I mean, there's some green in the layout, in the colours that I've used. Because I'm using so many, it kind of offsets itself, I think, and it becomes its own sort of set of colours. So I'm okay with how colourful they are, but yeah, it wouldn't be my first choice necessarily. So I've picked up some old alphas that were in my stash. I can't remember the brand offhand actually, but the navy colour of them matches the blue of the collection, the Paige Evans collection, beautifully. It's absolutely perfect. So I'm going to keep it really simple and just have it say pose, because that's exactly what she did the second I got the camera out. She hams it up something chronic whenever I get a photo out. So I've printed off some journaling, cut it into strips, and I'm just running them through my Xyron sticker maker there. Is it Xyron? I think it is. So I've run them through the sticker maker just to make them sticky, which saves me having to add glue to them. And I'm just going to layer them over that beautiful pink frame. And then I'm going to start playing around with the flowers again. I know I want to have them in a cluster of 3. I'm just not sure how I want them to go. And then I think, ooh, maybe I just want 2 sets of flowers. And a beautiful hearty donutty thing that says, "Hey sugar." She's not eating in this, but I do call her sugar, so we'll make it work. And you can see layering them in the way I have has given me a nice embellishment cluster that does actually form a bit of a triangle, so I'm happy with that. And I'm just going to play around with these beautiful puffy stickers, and I really love those glasses because she's wearing glasses. And part of the reason why these pictures are so funny, actually, they were taken about a week ago, and it's freaking freezing here. It's so cold. But there was a sunny day and she decided she was wearing sunglasses, and that was that. So she went out in the freezing cold weather wearing a sort of floral crown and sunglasses and a Pikachu backpack, and yeah. Anyway, I couldn't find a place for the puffy sunglasses, but I found a sticker set of glasses which works perfectly just above that pose title. And I'm just going to add a few enamel dots from my stash. I think they're from the So Fancy collection by Simple Stories, but they match quite well and I wanted to use them up. And I'm just going to layer a few of those around, and I think that's about it. I don't do anything else to this layout. I absolutely love how that background paper came out. Considering it's the bits you would usually throw away, I think that turned out really, really beautifully, and it's certainly worth pondering if you can use all your branding strips up to do something and make yourself a 12 by 12 piece of paper. And I really like this layout and how it came out. So if you like this layout, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up so YouTube know that you like my content. If you've got any comments, leave them down below, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!